got Smack, one of the hosts. This is 302 the podcast, and we bringing some information for you tonight. Some questions we're gonna ask him, and learn a little bit more about Smack, where he came from, and where we're headed with this podcast. So, the upbringing of the host. That's where we're gonna start, man. What's your background?
Man, for real, like, I was born and raised around here in Seaford, Delaware. My mother and father, they still together. They've been together 50 years. You know what I mean? Coming up as a kid, I was raised in church. A lot of people may know I was raised in church, man, from the time. Matter of fact, I was pretty much born in the church, bro. Like, my mom and dad began their journey in the church at 19, and I was in my mom's stomach, so I was kind of born as a church, a Clarence Street Church of God, a local church around here. And like I said, man, I was pretty like, some would consider me, I guess, at times a mean kid, misunderstood kid, man, but I was pretty inquisitive as a kid, man, even at a young age. You know what I mean? So I was kind of different, kind of knew I was different in a way. We had a pretty rough, I guess some may call it a rough upbringing, man. 5 kids, you know what I'm saying? Young parents trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? I was a kid at times, you know what I mean? Very talented kid, but didn't have a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, had to share socks, had to share clothes with my brother, you know what I mean? Had to wear hand-me-downs at times, got teased a bit, you know what I'm saying, throughout, my elementary days, you know what I'm saying, and middle school days, but it was a change of events, man, for me. You know, the most vital time, my father was on the road, my brother went to the military, a lot of my friends, you know what I'm saying, was going off doing their thing, because I always, it was a core group of family we had in the church, and it was guys that usually was a couple guys my age that we hung with each other, but then the core group was mainly dudes like 3-4 years older than us, so, and my brother was a couple years older, so, he off to the military, my pop on the road, every couple of weeks running his business, you know what I mean, trying to provide and take care of us. And I'm a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, man, you know what I'm saying, and got 3 sisters, a mom, and I'm the only boy in the crib at the time. So I started getting into some stuff, you know what I'm saying, like trying to pretty much keep from being teased, fit in, you know what I'm saying, like had the gear I wanted, and I got into some stuff, man, that really didn't even coincide with the way I was raised, man. Started being a street dude, like full-fledged street dude, getting money, you know what I'm saying? And now I got sneaks, now I got gear. Now the girls is checking for me real heavy, you know what I mean? It's around that Wesley Snipe time, I'm a dark-skinned dude, halfway decent grade of hair, you know what I mean? So now I go from the boy being teased to the pretty boy, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it molded me and that shaped me in a different way, man. And I became something that I wasn't raised to be. One might say I became a lot of things I wasn't raised to be. Still good-hearted dude, still had the core values, still had the talent, and still had a love for people. But, I was angry, misunderstood dude, man. And I acted out in a lot of ways. My anger and things that happened as a child, as a kid, kind of shaped me and molded me to be something else. So, long story short, man, I got into some, nefarious activities, drug dealing, kicked out of school twice, expelled twice, didn't get my education, man, suspended every time you turn around in school. I guess I was the problem child, black sheep sort of the family. But that's kind of like sort of, the first half of my upbringing, you know what I mean?
So moving forward to where you're at now. So how'd you get to the point where you're at now? We know you're a barber, businessman, entrepreneur. What schooling did you go through, or what path did you take to get where you're at?
It's schooling, bro. Like, what you mean? Like formal schooling?
Not so much formal schooling, whether it may be like barber school or something like that, you know what I mean, or anything like that.
The school of hard knocks, you know what I mean? And like, I tell people all the time, I got this thing I say, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been taking the stairs, bro, for years. I've been taking the stairs, and how I got into the barber game, man, to be honest with you, like, I always cut hair. I cut everybody hair from the time I was 10. And that comes from, like, I wouldn't say poverty, but that comes from, like, having, you know what I'm saying? I never went to a barber shop, to be honest with you. I never had went and got a haircut at a barber shop in my life. My dad cut my hair, my mom cut my hair. So 10 years old, man, I picked up a pair of clippers, put the headband on my head, you know what I mean, cut the fade, and I could just do it. I was always an artist. I always could draw, man, and I figured out, man, I can do this, you know what I mean? So I started cutting my own hair, started cutting guys in the church hair, my brother hair, my uncles, everybody in the neighborhood. So by the time I was 13, and this real talk, you know, anybody that know me will tell you, they really, really know me. By the time I was 13, I was good. I was doing designs in people's heads at 13 years old, man, cutting boxes, fades, stair steps, and that air, bro. Like, I was getting busy at 13, but nobody would give me, it was never ever a dream of mine to be a barber, bro. Like, I wanted to be a pro athlete. I was an artist. I played music. That was my dream, to be on stage playing music. And, you know, a lot of people that knew what I became had no clue that I was a musician from the time I was a little kid. I was an artist from the time I was a little kid. You know what I mean? I played every sport from the time I was a little kid, you know, but I think the most notable thing became about me was this dude is this notorious street dude, you know what I'm saying, that hustles and runs the street. That's all he does. You know what I mean? Run the women, run the streets, sell drugs, get into trouble, get kicked out of school, you know. But it was, like I said, I was raised to be a whole total different kid. But to answer your question, I went underneath for apprenticeship of my cousin, Anita Purnell. You know what I mean? Long story short, and that's how I end up, you know what I'm saying, getting into the professional barber thing. I started at 15, man. First salon I worked in was her hair salon at 15. And, you know, guys weren't really trying to let people in the door barbering in the barber shops, and it took a turn of events for a guy in the hood. Everybody in his barber shop just left, you know what I'm saying, left him, and dudes had been steady telling him, yo, man, that cat can cut, you know what I mean, and he would never give me a shot. But finally, I guess he had no choice. He didn't have nobody work, so he gave me a shot, told me bring a client in and bring a model in one day, and I did. And I cut this cat hair in like 10 minutes, and he was like, dude was amazed. He was like, bro, I didn't know you was that good. I said, yo, everybody been telling you, like the hood been trying to tell you. So from that, man, like I said, I was maybe 18, and since then, you know, I started off a couple years in there, 20 I had I guess it was around 21, 22. I had a daughter, man, and, you know, some events happened in that shop. You know, sometimes when you got, you know, your skill level is what it is, and, you know, I was always a respectful person, never stepped on nobody's toes, did everything the right way. But it's like two men being in a house. You know what I mean? I was born, that boss thing that I didn't manifest yet, I was born to be a boss, and I was working with another boss. So, you know, I didn't have no problem, but sometimes it's a conflict when you got somebody working with you that's a boss like you. So I end up opening my first business, man, 2021. You know what I mean? I had to take care of the family, take care of my baby girl, my firstborn. And long story short, bro, it's been a journey. I had many business, but I've been cutting hair now for 35 years, you know what I'm saying, and still doing it. And that was like kind of the introduction, man, to, really it wasn't my dream, but it was part of my purpose to get me here, you know what I mean, with what I do, you know what I'm saying, interacting with people, you know what I mean, men, the youth, and the business side of it and everything.
I got you. I feel you. So as far as the podcast, you gave us a little bit like a background of your life, your story, the business where you're at now. What do you want out of the podcast? What's your end goal? The purpose of your platform?
I got you. Well, you know, to be honest with you, man, how this whole thing came about, it started, and like I said, once again, this is not my dream. You know, I don't want to shade it in any type of way, bro. I'm gonna take this thing as far as it can go, and we gonna make it do what it do. But to be honest with you, podcasting is not my dream. I believe it's part of my purpose. You know, once again, it's another thing that's part of my purpose. But how this all came about was, you know, I started seeing a lot of talented people, man, in the neighborhood coming through the shop. I've seen them throughout the years, man, and I was trying to figure out a way. You know, it's a lot of people that have great talent in this area that may never, ever be heard or seen. You know what I'm saying? It's not a baking ground. We're not in Atlanta. We're not in New York. We're not in Philly. You know, we're in Delaware. So I know some of these people's journeys, man, and I know talent. I got an ear for music. I was born with it. You know what I mean? I've been around professionals. I played with a lot of professionals, the guys in the industry. You know, people don't even know it. Like, being from this place, most every musician in the industry is from the church. And we interacted with a lot of these guys growing up, you know what I'm saying? And the church, playing at church conventions or whatever. So my dream about this is I want to create a platform. I'm gonna create a platform that hundreds of thousands of people, you know what I mean, do it the right way, have the right content to where hundreds of thousands of people are viewing this and our information, and that way I can highlight the guy that may been working with the music that has great talent and never be heard, the businessman, the real estate agent. Really, it's about the journey, man, and you know, it ain't about telling my story. Of course, I'm telling my story tonight, but for me, it's about, you know, telling people's journey and their story. That's why it's called Started from the Bottom 302. It's about the in-between that people don't know. You know, people know that you here, but they never know how you get here. They never know, you know, the stair steps you took. You know what I mean? Everybody seems to think that you have to take the easy way up, or somebody has to sign you, or, you know what I mean? I call it taking the elevator. But, bro, the elevator is full. It's full of people on the elevator. Everybody trying to get on that easy ride to get up the elevator. But it's always a set of stairs to the right that's empty because, you know, people don't really want to walk the stairs and they don't want to put that work in. I've been taking the stairs, bro, since I was 10-year-old little boy. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, man. It's about me putting people in position. That's what this podcast is about, bro. Putting us in position.
I got you. So moving forward with the podcast, what do you want people to expect? Like closing it out, closing remarks. Like what would be your last statement that you want people to remember for the future?
Well, just keep an eye out for us, man. Be looking for us. You know, like at the end of the day, we want to, and it's not just myself. You know, I use myself as an example because I know that I'm misunderstood in some ways, man. A lot of us people don't know. You know what I mean? Some of us closed off. And I'm not really closed off, but I don't do a lot of social media. I know I need to get into it. You know, I don't do a lot of talking. I like to do action. But at the end of the day, you know, people don't know, like, I'm a business owner. I'm more than just a barber. You know what I'm saying? I do real estate. I have commercial rentals. I play music. You know, we're doing this. We do productions in the podcast. You know what I mean? I mentor. You know, we reach out to the community. We do things behind the scene, man. And our whole team, you know, our whole team. Yeah. We doing things, and I want to highlight our whole team and what we do. You know, we do a lot more than just what people perceive us to be. So if I can close out, man, I just want the community to get behind us, number one. Not just the community, but we're planning on to take this thing out to the world. And the end game and the closing remarks for me, I want people to know that we coming. You know what I'm saying? We coming, and it's not about no clout. It's not about fame for us, but we know this thing is gonna grow. But it's all about our community. It's all about putting people, giving them their flowers, putting them in position. That's what it's about for me. You know what I mean? I know that's what it's about for my crew and my team. With us, it's, you know, we doing all this stuff, man, together as a unit. It's about young brothers getting together and able to do something together that works, that benefits us, that benefits our community at the end. You know what I mean? It's about us fulfilling our purpose. So, you know, if I could give any closing remarks, you know what I mean? I just stay tuned, man. Stay tuned and watch. This Started from the Bottom, the podcast. You know, professionally shot show, professionally done, professional content. You know what I mean? Different topics, bringing in different. We're gonna bring in live performances, interview the performers, bring in businessmen. We just telling people's journeys, man. You know what I mean? All colors, all creeds, all genres of music, man. And that's what we about. Started from the Bottom 302, the podcast.
All right, respect. I can respect that. So we're gonna be looking out for y'all.
I got a question for you, Jordan. I'm gonna spin it a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I do. This one of my executive producers. You know what I'm saying, for the show that's asking me these questions. You know, he behind the scenes right now, but you know what I mean. He'll be out front pretty soon. Give him your background, man, on what you do. Like, see this, and we're gonna start it off this way because this is what it's about. You know what I mean? You you know, I know you. And I know some of the things you do, some things I may not know, but this is what this is about. You know, people don't like a lot of our kids need to see it's guys that look like them that do what you do, you know what I'm saying, and have the skill you have that people may not know about. So it ain't just about me sitting in front of this camera, you know what I'm saying, and highlighting me. It's about my whole team, man. So, you know, tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do and what you get into.
All right, so me, myself, born and raised in Seaford, you know what I mean? So I'm from Delaware, lower Delaware. Not much going on. So I went to Seaford High, graduated from there. Went to Wilmington University, studied digital filmmaking, minored in photography. So pretty much everything dealing with like media production, lighting, the whole nine of the production, like everything. So I did that, came back home. Of course, we're in Lower Delaware. There's not much going on unless you're working at WBOC, WMDT. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's pretty much my background. I do YouTube, that type of stuff. A couple of my channels have like 20,000 subscribers. My other one has 15. I mean, I have content that has videos with over 1 million views. So we're definitely gonna run it up.
You dig what I'm saying? Like that's the team, bro. So, by the way, folks, I'm one of the hosts of the show. So now I'm in my hosting bag. You feel me? Like I'm doing what I'm gonna be doing on here and what y'all can expect. You know what I'm saying? They're interviewing me, but like I said, you know, I tell my guys all the time. You know what I'm saying? And this is from the heart, bro. Like God give me a unique heart. I love to see people win. You know what I'm saying? It's never about just me. And that's true. That's from the heart. Like for me, it's about everybody else. That's why I do this. You know what I'm saying? That's my purpose. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with everybody winning. And my guys will tell you, we win as a team. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's, you know, started off as a vision and my baby, but these dudes, man, is just as important to me or more important than me. And a lot of times, you know, guys like Jordan, you know, a lot of kids don't understand how important what they do is. They just think, oh man, I went to school, you know, I'm doing something, I got a career, I need to do something to feed my family. But it's not a lot of dudes, man, in your age bracket. It's not a lot of guys that come from where we come from that even have the perseverance to go get a skill that can say, hey man, I know how to edit film, I know how to run camera. You know what I mean? So for the kid out there that's like, man, I don't see nobody on WBOC that look like me in the background, they got a Jordan, you feel me? They got a Jordan that they can look up to and be like, hey man, it's a dude from the hood and they doing a dope podcast, man, and he's doing all that editing, he's doing the camera work, you know what I mean? I can do that. And see, we the dudes that will give information, you know what I'm saying? Like I know you. We'll give it to a kid that want it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, that's what this is about, man. That's what this whole podcast is about. It's about people uniting, the beauty of it, and making one thing work, you know what I mean? Got my man in here. He in here tonight. Cat grew up with me, you know what I'm saying? He's solid. I don't think he mic'd up, but we got Johnny Brown, man. Excellent producer, beat maker. You know, I don't want to short him because I know he does a lot of things. He wears a lot of hats, but he's from this area too. Lives in Dover, Delaware now, and he's just sitting on the set chilling, man, supporting his brother, man. Does he do camera work, the whole nine, the whole bit. Bro, like, listen, Delaware got talent. Start from the bottom, and y'all better look for it because we about to show you. You know what I'm saying? We about to show you how we give it up down here. We in Little Seaford, Delaware, bro. With some people may call Bama one-horse town, but right now we inside our studio. You know what I'm saying? And I say our, you know, somebody, oh, Smack, you got our building, you know, because that's the way I look at it, you know what I'm saying? And later on in the clips, you'll see what we get into. Like, we got a pretty decent sized building with a lot going on in here, you know what I'm saying? Barber shops, we got massage parlors, we got a Bell's Bombing, you know, that I run out to here, commercial, we got tax office in here. We're creating a $1 billion boys club, I want to call it, where we're going to be futurely filming and shooting, gaming, you know what I mean, big movie screen, got a movie theater upstairs, gonna have a studio, gonna have a streaming service. Yo, we got big things in the work, man, and it ain't about, you know me, it's about us. It's about us doing it, man, and putting people on. So that's what this thing is about, man. Started from the bottom, 302, you know what I mean? Get at us, view us, you know what I'm saying? Minds of Moguls, Media Vision on YouTube. We're gonna have other platforms. I think we might be doing Twitch later on. We're gonna do all platforms, so you know, I'm gonna keep an eye out for us. Stay tuned, bro. Big things. I started from the bottom, 302 the podcast. Love. Got some good commentary.
Yeah, that was good.